Okay, so welcome everybody to this webinar, which is brought to you by BELTA, the Belgian English Language Teachers Association. Every month you can join us for a webinar in the Sundays with BELTA series. You can find the dates for the next webinars on our website, beltabelgium.com. It is my great pleasure today to introduce you to Fiona Mauchline. If I pronounce that correctly, I'm not really sure. Fiona is a teacher, trainer and materials writer based in Western Spain, but originally from the UK. She has been in ELT for over 25 years, and many of us will know her as a co-curator of ELT Pics, a resource of online pictures that can be used by teachers. Fiona also writes and runs various blogs, including Macapella, which is her personal blog and highly recommended, and the two ELT Pics blogs called The Burning Questionnaire, where she asks questions to an ELT person, and also Take a Photo And, which is also the topic of today's webinar. How can we use pictures in language learning? She promised us heaps of ideas using photographs in our classes, either taken by students themselves or photographs taken from resources just like ELT Pics. So Fiona, we are all ears and I give the word to you.
Hi, I can't actually see my slides at the moment. Can I put my slides up? Oh, there we go, that's me. Sorry, I'm just having my techno moment. Images. I thought I'd start with just the thing about the power of image in general. Visualization. Do you fancy some visualization? I try to be as interactive as possible, which means I'll be asking you to type in that chat box thing a bit. Is that okay? Say yes if it's okay. Yes, good, brilliant. We're going to start with a bit of visualization, which is images in your head. We're just going to do one quick activity with that and then go on to looking at using students' own photos and then photos from Photo Resource. Obviously, I'll be talking about ELT pics, as Mika's also involved. It makes sense. So, but we're going to start with this visualization thing, all right? I'm going to play you some music, I hope, and I'll try and get the volume okay. I'm going to play two little clips of contrasting music, and I'm going to ask you to think about this. Imagine you're visualizing the film from a scene rather from a film, okay? Not necessarily a film that exists. You can make up your own film. But before we start, choose your actor, all right? You can have male actor or female actor. All right, choose your actor. Do you want to type some names in there for your actor that you're going to make do something while listening to music? So Kelly's writing down. The people are saying, choose an actor. I'm going to choose, Meryl Streep. I'm going to choose this one myself. Having seen him in a film this week. Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence. Oh, I know who that is. Yes, Ryan Gosling. Yeah, Marika. Is that how you pronounce your name? You're on the same page as me, aren't you? Okay. While we're listening to the piece of music, you imagine your actor in a room. It can be any room, the room that just comes to mind. But I'd like you to focus on what you can see. You can take notes if you've got a piece of paper and a pen or pencil there. Think about what the room is like, what colours you can see, what's the mood generally, what is your actor doing in this scene, what's their facial expression, all right? What kind of clothes are they wearing? Are they contemporary? Are they in the pyjamas? Is it period? And is there anyone else in the room with them, all right? Can you see that on the screen? Can you see the different things to think about there? You've got looking at your actor, you're looking at the room they're in, the colours around them, the mood of the general scene, what he or she is doing, the facial expression, clothes, and anyone else. Okay? This is all on the images that come to mind while listening to music. Most of us get images of some sort when we're listening to music. Okay, so I'm going to try it. It's a bit experimental, particularly with the music on a different computer, but we'll see if it works. And if it doesn't work at all, just type in the box there, tell me to stop, okay? Are you ready? First piece of music. Okay, that's the first piece of music. All right, you can take notes if you'd rather take notes, and then we'll type it all up at the end. And I'm going to go into the second piece of music, which is a big contrast. All right. One moment. Now I've got this new Chrome thing here, which is a pest. Second piece of music. Ready to go? Okay. That's the second piece of music. So, if you'd like to start typing in the chat box then, just tell us, what did you see? You can choose one of the pieces of music, doesn't matter if it's the first one or the second one. Well, the actor you've already said. What kind of room were they in? What colours could you see? What was the mood? What were they doing? Facial expression, clothes. Was there anybody else with them? All right? And just share the images that came to your mind while you were listening to the music. Okay? I'm going to turn it off. People are typing. The second piece, large empty room with a black Steinway piano. Oh yeah, definitely. Black and white setting, New York. I like it. Size for a suit with open vest, no tie. Arched back, concentrated. Second one, sad mood. Maybe walking around in the rain. Well, yeah. In fact, the piece of music is après la pluie, so that makes sense. Yeah. Oh, Keira Knightley. Let's see. Red bedroom. Angry after a bad date. Quite drunk. Keira Knightley slowly walking up in the morning. Shallow, vivid colours. It's nice, isn't it? You see, so we're getting all these images coming out. And look at the language you're using. There's all this stuff coming out. Images are excellent for language work. This is something I do with my students a lot. I use music. So I can't help but imagine Cumberbatch disco dancing. I love that idea. Yes. Sorry. In his slightly Asperger's roles. A girl sitting walking through an old house that her grandma used to live in. You see? I do this, and let me click on the next slide a second. I do this a lot. I use, keep typing if you wish. Oh, you could just email me at the end. I'll use all your ideas in another session. This activity can work with almost anything of the kind of the narrative or descriptive type. Because the narrative, you could start those scenes that you're typing away there, you could use those as a starting point for a story, or the ending point of a story, especially, I can't remember who said it, the one about Keira Knightley. Who was that? Scrolls back up. Wait a second. Where was Kira? That was Thomas from Belgium. You see, you could start with the first picture and then with the second. Yeah. So you can use them to do narratives, you can do it to do a description, but it's music and it's images in your head. All right, and on the screen there you've got a slide showing other ones that I've actually tried myself. On the beach, a city scene. For a city scene, music I often use is Evanescence, Bring Me to Life, which you probably know. You can type yes if you do. And then I contrast it with either Lou Reed's Perfect Day, or there's a couple of things by REM that work well, or Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings, which is excellent music from kind of the 60s kind of style, a song called 100 Days, 100 Nights. And in the countryside works, a winter scene I did this Christmas, and I played what did I play? I played Macy Gray's version of Walking in a Winter Wonderland, and I played them the song from The Snowman, and they got some great stuff out of that. I mean, you can do all sorts of stuff for this. So that's images in the mind, but you can flip things on their head and then also use the image, an image, a photo, to kind of give the message, to create the message. We're going to be looking, well, I said this before, you don't really need this now, but anyway, we're looking at images from students themselves, and then images from something like ELT pics. And I've added a note there about if you don't use something like ELT pics in the classroom, do be careful to use Creative Commons images in your classroom, particularly if you work somewhere like me. I work in a state-owned institution. Anything that goes on the computer there, you know, if we get an inspection, massive fine, and it's moral reasons anyway. You know, use pictures by somebody who's happy to have you use their pictures. So that's what that little message is about. It's not just an ELT pics plug. It's called Yuri Glue too. Oh, but you're in London. Are you in London? Yes, you're in London. It says you are. Sorry, Rakesh. Anyway, before we talk about using students' own images in the classroom, this is my own personal little terminology here. The twilight zone, and I always talk about the twilight zone in sessions, particularly aiming at teenagers, because it's not just teenagers, so it's adults as well. The twilight zone for me is the area that students do not want to share. The thing is, you never really quite know what that area is. It could be, typically you say to a student, tell me about your family. That could be a twilight zone. They may not want to talk about their family. They may have some kind of family problem there. Or my own children here, we're a mini family. There's only 3 of us in our family, me and my 2 sons, and that's it. They don't have that extended thing of grandfathers, and they have my father, that's it. They don't have cousins and stuff all nearby. The other kids in their class do. So they don't like that kind of talk about your family thing because they feel vulnerable. Describe your last holiday, or a lot of the things that come up in course books, or that we just sort of fall back on as old favourites. Describe your house to me. Not always a good thing to do, The advantage of asking students to bring in photos to use in the classroom is that you're handing the responsibility for choosing the content stuff to the students. It's non-invasive personalising. Personalising is very, very important, as you know, creating associations with the language, attaching the language to their own life. But if they can choose how to do that, then that's much more effective than, asking them to describe their holiday if they didn't go on one, or the kids sitting next to them went to, Florida, and they went to stay with their grandmother down the road, So the other advantage with asking students to bring in their own images is that, particularly at the beginning of the year, when you don't know students so well, if you're like me and you're kind of an unplugged, semi-dogma-ish, listen to the students, listen to them a lot, get clues for what interests them, etc. It's so much quicker to do it, asking them to bring in pictures, than to spend a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, a month, whatever, trying to tune in to conversations to find what kind of thing they like, because they don't all speak. Some of them are very quiet, Pictures are also useful for creativity. That visualization thing we just did, that was great for creativity. I get my students to take their notes in English or Spanish as they prefer, and then we do a vocabulary thing afterwards, so they don't feel hindered by their language. And then they're learning new language, and they're instantly attaching it to an image they had in their head. It's very personal, but it's also very creative. I'm going to give you some examples of how you can use students' own in this kind of non-invasive, that sounds very trendy, doesn't it? Sorry, in this non-invasive way. And also shows you how, things like their identity, how to find out stuff about them. You know how when, as a teacher, you go into classroom and you think, oh, they're teenagers, and you have this mental image of teenagers. Or you go and you think, A2 students or A1 students. Or you go in first day and you say, what do you do? And for example, in one of my classes, I've got a guy who runs a rock school. He plays in a rock band, and he has a little school, which is called School for Rock. There's him, then there's a very sort of elegant lady who owns a shop. There's another guy who's very quiet. I don't know, doesn't say very much at all. There's very sort of serious guys, all sporty and stuff. There's a journalist, it's kind of, and you go in and you have this sort of mental image of them when you're preparing your class. Well, I asked them recently to send me a selfie, all right? To give me a selfie to use in class. But in the selfie, they had to show something of their own life, okay? And I collected the selfies together, and I've used 12 here to show you. Can you see that? I want to type in yes, if you can see it okay. Brilliant. Now, these are my students. This is some of my students, okay? I've got a lot more students than this, but the guy in the middle with the red jersey and the dog, that's the rock guitarist. And yet, I learned something instantly there about him. He doesn't perceive of himself the way I perceive of him. He showed me, at home with his dog. The lady next to him, and that's Lisa, she said that thing on her head is a kind of a crown that one of her children made for her. So she's sort of, she's sharing part of her family life with us there. Bottom right-hand corner, he's the writer. He also teaches cookery classes. I see him as being quite a serious kind of guy. That's the selfie he sent me. The very elegant shop-owning lady is the one in the top right with the little kid in the stripy T-shirt, So she's got to into her family and stuff. Then the really, really quiet one's the guy with all the books. The girl sitting on the ground with the small child. I didn't know she was a journalist. I knew somebody else in that group was. I didn't know she was. She's interviewing a kid there. I just thought it was so beautiful. They just sent me these selfies, and I've made a collage, and we use them. They sent me captions as well, and I modelled up the captions, and they matched the caption to the photo. Or you could have them write stories about each other, or they could invent a bio, a little biodata thing for them. At the beginning of the year, it's a great way to kind of break the ice and just, noticing what they're sharing. Okay, so that's something I did. And those are my students, so we have to say thank you to Manu and India, etc., all right? Another thing you can do, and this is with more international classes, sort of multi-language groups, and I tried this summer, but I'm showing my own photos here rather than kind of intrude into my students' lives here. We also tend to have a kind of an image of nationalities. For example, this last summer, Brakesh knows what I'm talking about here because he's worked with the same company, and Julie actually went on one of their courses. I was working with a group of people we had people from Bosnia, people from Serbia, Slovenia, Belarus, Ukraine, etc., very kind of multinational group there. And to break through that sort of national stereotyping we often have of each other, I asked them they wrote down, and then if they had photos on their cameras, to think of things that they felt defined themselves according to their nationality. How did they feel about being Bosnian? What did being Bosnian mean, or what did being Slovenian mean? And I tried it myself. I said, British. What do people think about the British? They think about, rolled up umbrellas and bowler hats and cups of tea or something. These are my photos of being British. Do you want to have a guess at what they show? What do you think they show about being British? Not sure how many of you are British, but have a go. What can you see in those pictures? Great Christmas sweaters. Yeah, that's my brother-in-law and my father, actually. Right, the coast. Yes, the coast and the sea. I think as a British person, we're always aware of the sea. I certainly am. I'm from Scotland and I'm from near the coast. So to me, being British is a lot about the sea, the connection to the sea. Shakespeare, definitely. Shakespeare. Any idea where that is, that particular theatre? History of Royal Family. That's a good one. I haven't thought of that one. Tea, yeah. Having tea. That's bottom middle there. Is tea. And also, you won't be able to see that the woman in the picture there is, I don't know. Oh, Patti Smith, which is kind of, I know she's American, but very much the punk thing from my generation as well. Strange stairs. Yeah, that's not quite the thing. The stairs lining. Okay, what's on the stairs? It's all over the place in Britain. Weird drawings on stairs. Carpet. Thank you. I live in Spain. There are no carpets in this country, so I associate carpet with being British. Well, I'll tell you, all right, because we've got more things to look at. I've had carpet with the stairs. Those stairs are actually in the Supreme Court in London, and they show all the symbols of the 4 countries in Britain. There's the rose, the thistle, etc. All right, but it is actually carpet. My father and my brother-in-law, apart from Christmas sweaters, it's the willingness to laugh at ourselves and to be silly is the other thing. If you ever met my father, you would appreciate that. Very serious. But we do tend to, we're okay about making fools of ourselves. And then there's the sea. And then the picture of the bridge, what does that show? Is that bridge covered in rain? It is covered in rain, yes. That's not the only thing. Have a look. Where's the car? No street lights. Driving on the left, yay, well done. Right, driving on the left, it's an obvious thing. And then the bottom one there is obviously, it's Shakespeare, it's theatre, it's the West End. There's also Hanging Basket. Beautiful weather. It's beautiful weather. It's Scotland in that photo. Right, I'm going on to the next one. Okay. You drive on the wrong side. No, we drive on the right side. Everyone else drives on the wrong side. Napoleon's fault. Move on. Next thing. Here's another, this is a game that you can actually do in the classroom if your students are allowed their mobile phones, okay? It's very simple, there is, there are, there is, there are, there was, there were, etc. kind of game. Can you see the picture okay? That is, I took that photo when I was traveling, but we all have stuff in our bags. We have stuff in our handbags, our students have stuff in there if they're teenagers, in their backpacks or in their pockets, The idea is, also I've done this myself with my A1 students, just kind of there and then. They tip some stuff out in their bags, they choose a certain number of items, they put them on the table, but in a corner or something so that the other people in the room can't see, and they take a photo, all right? Then they remove 2 items and take a second photo, all right? And then with their partner, they show them the 2 photos. This is obviously using smartphones or similar. Do you want to try it? You've got 30 seconds to memorize what's in that picture, and then I'll show you the second one, okay? I'm going to count on my watch. Here's my watch. Can you see the watch? No, you can't see the watch. There's the watch, right. 30 seconds starting now. Memorize what's in that photograph. And no writing, that's cheating. Just memorizing. Not that I consider you cheated, but anyway. 10 seconds to go. 5 seconds to go. I'm going to give you 5 seconds extra. Time up. Right. Second picture. What's different? Deodorant? How can you tell from there, Julie? Yeah, you sure? You think I lipstick, the bottom picture, little black roll thing is gone, pen, the black thing's gone. Alright, so you speak excellent English. Of course, the students are going to say, there was a black thing, or there were 2 pens. There is 1 pen. There was a black thing. there isn't any black thing. Oh, whatever, hold on. Go back again, click. Yep. As you can see, the pens. How many pens? How many pens disappeared? Alright, 3 there. How many here? 2, right, so 1 disappeared. So you can either say there were 3 pens, there are 2 pens, or, yeah? Okay? And then the other thing there, I think it's actually one of those little solid perfumes from Lush. But anyway, yeah, I accept lipstick, but not deodorant, yeah. Okay, it's very simple, and they do it there and then, and I say I've done it myself with my A1s, and they like it. And if there's anything really personal in their handbag, they just stick it back in a handbag. They show the stuff that they want to show. You can then go on to use the same images, which one should I show you? The second one, it's the same image, to then say, what does it show about the person? All right, so because obviously everything in that picture there tells you something about me. So they've done the quick, you carry your boots in your handbag? No. And it also tells you've only got 1 leg, you see. I was travelling, this is my suitcase, I've got to admit, I was cheating there. That was junk from my suitcase. What was I saying? Oh yeah, right, so you've done the there is, there are, there was, there were, and then you do the what does it show you about the person. Again, it's kind of a getting to know you thing. So what do you know about me from that picture? The thing next to the lipsticky thing, by the way, is a camera, not a purse. I like reading, exactly. What else? That's if I'm on boot. Need glasses to read. Computer morning, not using. Cruelty-free products, indeed, I do. I'm a no parabens person as well. I used to adore that boy, yes, he's a teenager now. He's the one who was sending me messages off to the side earlier. I like black boots, yep. I have a son, I actually have 2 sons, yeah, I like reading. Okay, there's lots of stuff there, you see. You're British, exactly, well done. Cannibal weather with a scarf, exactly. Exactly, you see, short-sighted. I think they call it tired vision at my age. I like taking pictures, yeah. I never run out of pens. No, I never run out of pens, and I always carry at least 3 notebooks on me, so. I'm going to go on to the next one, all right? But try it yourself. Have a go with that one. I like purple. I do, actually, yeah, you're right. Yes, well spotted. My glasses are kind of purpley pink, too. Not from a man. Not from a man? Never even take notes, but also stylish lady. Not from a man. What does that link up with? I'm not sure quite what that links up with. I'm going to click on, okay? Oops, second one. Next one. Now, this one is the one that appears in the blog post that somebody posted it on the BELTA site. They got a sort of on the move scrapbook. This is something again I do with my students because they've got these smartphones. I get them to stand. This is like on the way to class. Stand still. Literally just stand still for a second and take 6 photos of things that they can see from the spot that they're standing on. Any 6 things that draw their attention for any particular reason. Okay, I did it myself. Again, these are photos I took in the town that I live in. Just, yeah, I raise my eyebrow all the time though. Raising my eyebrows is part of me, I think, sorry. Do I live in Caceres? I live in Caceres, yeah, Caceres. I do, yeah. It's the gastronomic capital of Europe this year, so yeah. Yeah, so they're standing on the spot, they take the 6 photos, all right? And then when they're in a classroom, they can look at them again, or at home, depending if they take the pictures on the way home. And then choose at least 3 to write something about. All right, I say they don't have to write about the 6, because sometimes when you're standing taking the photos, you say, oh yeah, that looks cool. Then it comes to writing something down, and you think, well, what can I say? So for example, those 6 photos there, bottom left, where it says Casar de Cáceres, first comment is it was very hot that day. That was last summer. 31 degrees you can see on the thermometer thing. In fact, that's probably spring, because it gets up to 40 something here in summer. So you've got the temperature, but you've also got the fact that Casar de Cáceres is the town that makes the smelliest cheese in Spain, and it's only 11 kilometres away. And I'm allergic to cheese. So that's something I would write down. I can't stand the smell of that stuff, and it's really pretty close. Yes, Sergio Juan Gomez, where are you? I'm in Cáceres. Then above the Casar de Cáceres, you could write about the fact that the kind of little plaque thing on the wall there is the Camino de Santiago plaque, which you may have heard of, the big long walk across the north of Spain. There is also a north-south version, and I live literally on it. And that is stuck on the side of the bull ring. So you could talk about bullfighting, you talk about Camino de Santiago. Sol means sun. Okay, the thing over the other road sign one says how far Portugal is away. So you could say, I live near Portugal, I visit Portugal sometimes, I love Portuguese food, etc., etc. The one that I would have nothing to say about, to be honest, is the statue, because I took that and got home and went, don't know what to say. Okay? So you get them to take 6 photos and then eliminate, and then they just show each other the photos and talk about, why they took them, etc. There's a lot kind of speaking and writing thing. You can also do it, and I think it was Paul Braddock. You may have heard of Paul Braddock, who works for the British Council in Barcelona, and is one of the people who runs the Teach English site. His version of the same thing is to take a photo on the route to school, so that they take a photo every 5 minutes or so, and then show, when they get to school, show the partner the route to school and discuss it. All right? So you can do all kinds of things with those wonderful little photo albums they have in their pocket. They're not supposed to have in their pocket, but we know they have them really. So, make the use of it. Make the most of it, rather. Next thing is, though, going back to the thing about Twilight Zone, not everybody wants to share their own photos. So that's when you send them to ELT pics. And you say, instead of saying, if you don't want to do that, describe your house thing, and it's in the book, and it might be in the exam, so you're going to do the practice thing. And instead of saying, right, when you describe your house, you send them home, you send them to ELT pics homes set, and you'll get a link in a second. And there are hundreds and hundreds of pictures in that particular set. Then they choose a house, and then they say, okay, this is my house. So the one you can see on the screen there, this is my house. This is where I am sitting right now. We have, because let's face it, you usually describe a house thing with students as, I have 1 kitchen, we have 1 bathroom, 2 bathrooms, big house, It's not very exciting. So if you allow them to choose a house from ELT pics, then they can make up what there is, This is my house, we have a tower. It is our photography room, and the library is on the ground floor. That is not a staircase, it is a slide, it is a helter-skelter. We have a swimming pool, it needs cleaning, etc. All right? So, in fact, that house there, the photograph was taken by Sandy Millen, who's also one of the co-curators of the ELT pics. I fiddled with the cover a teeny-weeny bit, using nothing more sophisticated than Word. And do you recognise that house? It needs cleaning. Yeah, okay. See, make it up. Do you recognise that house? That is the real house. That's Le Petit Trianon, Versailles. Okay, so it's now my house. Next picture. This is the quick sort of promo for ELT pics there. Although I see Mika's just put the link up anyway. I checked it yesterday. I haven't checked it today. Yesterday, there were 23,590 photos for you to choose from, so you better be able to find something in there. Either the teachers can look in there or the students can. On the whole, we don't allow students to join the ELT pics to contribute. Oh, teachers, yeah, definitely. That was the cover of the resource yesterday, and the link is a wee bit small there, but to say Mika has very kindly put it in the chat box for you. All right, so all the photos there, they're all organised yesterday. There are 107 different sets. There's homes, there's emotions, there's food, there's transport, there's technology, there's what else is there? There's phrasal verbs, there's ing endings, there's all kinds of stuff. So you just click into the set and look, or use the search boxes that you can see at the top there. You just type in what you're looking for. You know, strawberries, and rhubarb. We need rhubarb. I was trying to tell my students what rhubarb was the other day. We haven't got a photo of rhubarb. So, to continue, you can also send your students in to make selections of photos that say something about them. Instead of bringing in their own photos, if they don't want to share them, then they can go in to ELT Picks and select photos that they say something about them. These are photos that I've pinged from the Burning Questionnaire, and they say something about some very well-known people in ELT. And I suspect one of those little foursomes is actually you, Vicky, isn't it? Yeah? You need rhubarb too. I miss rhubarb, yes. I'm on the case of trying to find some seeds. I think Vicky, yeah, that's right. Can anybody guess which of those is Vicky's? Anybody who knows Vicky Loras? Is she a beer-drinking nun who drives a truck? Is she a tango dancing reader? In fact, that beautiful picture in black and white of the girl reading, that's one of your pictures, isn't it, Mika? Yeah? You think she's a giraffe? Are you a giraffe, Vicky? It's the little... Oh, that's you, Mika, reading. Oh, cool. Well, I can't actually remember who chose those four. I'll have to look later. It wasn't Vicky. So there you go. The modern day witch on the bike is me, I'm afraid. That was me. The one with the bike, that's me. Books, the Alhambra in Granada, the cycling or exercise in general, and the duck amongst fish. I always a bit big and clumsy. That was how I feel. You're the ducky. I'm the ducky. The non-lover is Ian James. Anyway, I'm moving on, okay? Sorry, just very quickly, you can do all sorts. I get them to, like my beginners, I get them to go in to ELT Picks and choose pictures of things that they like, and then they come in and they just use them as a kind of stimulus for conversation about, I like, do you like, I like beer. Do you like beer? That nun is actually taking photos, so it's actually about photography. I like taking photos. Do you like taking photos? I like lorries. I can't remember actually. I think that was because Ian said he'd always wanted to be a truck driver when he was little, or something like that. But I like the countryside. I like beer. It's very easy. I love or whatever. One of my students actually brought in photos from ELT Picks of a mosquito, the rain, and dog poo to show what she didn't like. So you can do all kinds of things with that though. The next one shows, this is something I use all the time. These images were taken by Ian James, Victoria Bouvier, and Chu Pang. I find I struggle with the opinion essays a lot with teenagers and with adults, because sometimes the titles are just a bit, I don't know, we had one recently for teenagers that was something about recycling. I don't know, recycling should be made compulsory. And really, the teenagers, it's like, they're not us. We're all adults. We remember the days before recycling bins all over the place. Teenagers don't. It's been there all their life. They've had those multicoloured bins in the street all their life. Certainly in Spain they have. It's kind of an odd question, this sort of recycling should be compulsory. Or, mobile phones are the death of modern civilization. Well, how much debate are you going to get out of that from a bunch of teenagers, So what I do is I select 6 images from the emotions set, 6 very different images, and then we elicit adjectives from the classroom. So for example, that person top left there, let's say female person, do you want to type a character adjective in the box there to describe the lady in green? Cross, right? Annoyed. Grumpy, suspicious, disappointed, etc., etc. Okay, how about bottom middle? Chap in the middle and the bottom. She's judging you, yeah, she is judging you, isn't she? She can do the eyebrow too, look, Bottom middle, creepy, that's got to be the bottom in the middle, creepy, irritated, creepy, yeah. He's a tough cookie too. Okay, what about top middle, the girl with the blonde hair, smug, not amused. Okay, there's that. How about the girl in the middle? The blonde girl with the glasses, jolly, happy, yep. Surprised, amazed, surprised, happy, cheerful. Okay, what we're doing here is we're creating characters, distinct characters. You do it with the 6, you put the students into groups and you elicit 2 or 3 adjectives per person in the photos there. I mean per photo, not per student in the room. And you create these characters and then you say to them, all right, here's your essay topic, title. It's, I don't know, mobile phones will be the death of modern society. Write down what you think the opinion of each of those 6 people is. All right, so each group, and there can be in 2s or 3s to do this, to help each other with the language. They write down what they think those 6 characters would think of mobile phones. So, for example, the green woman, what do you think she would think of mobile phones? Hates them, exactly, yeah. Why does she hate them? She thinks they're useless. She doesn't know how they work. She's suspicious of them. Yeah, funny radio waves and magnetic things and get cancer of the nose and whatever. Exactly. She's right. Okay. Well, what about the girl in the middle, though? What would her opinion be of mobile phones? Right. Because the kids make a dress up for that. Yeah, exactly. They're embarrassing. Mobile phones are embarrassing. What about the girl in the middle, though? What's her opinion of mobile phones? She's a big fan. Exactly. She thinks they're cool. They're very useful. Probably couldn't live without them, could she? She likes mobile phones. All right, okay. I would get them to justify why. You know, so it's not just she likes mobile phones. She likes, there, for example, taking selfies. She likes taking selfies. She likes them because she can talk to her friends. She likes them because she can see when her boyfriend was last on WhatsApp, track him, etc. Looks like I wasn't paying attention. I actually like something friends right. Exactly. So there's all these things. You write all these ideas on the board. Then you get the students to organise the ideas into arguments in favour, arguments against, and then they choose 3 for the for paragraph and 3 for the against paragraph. They haven't had to share their opinion, which many students don't have one or don't want to share their opinion because it might be different from the rest. And they've revised, vocabulary on the way. So I use these a lot. I mean, I use these sort of 6. These are the 6 that I use in my classroom, and we use them for opinion essays. We use them for debates, for all kinds of things. Okay, even for writing grammar sentences. That kind of if you saw a ghost, what would you do? Or if you won the lottery, what would you do? Those kind of things. You can give them the 6 and say what would their answers be? What would their sentences be? Yeah, I use those a lot. Next one, because we're running out of time. Exams. Exam classes, well, they've got to do that picture description thing. The picture description thing for the new first certificate is comparing and contrasting 2 photographs. It's not just describing 1 picture. It's each student gets 2 and they have to compare and contrast. But you can start by making it, because it's sort of a dry activity to do in class. So what you do is you give them 2 photos from the same set. These 2 are from the shopping set. And you get them to, you cut them in half. I use Paint. Do you know Paint? It's just part of the normal Microsoft Office suite. If you've got Windows 8, as I do, you have to look for it in the search option. But anyway, I cut them in half using Paint. Select and cut, and they work together and they chat and they guess what's in the other half. Basically, they guess what was in the half of the picture that was missing. You've lost your sound. Is it me? Have I done something? Can everybody else still hear me? You can still hear me, yeah? Ah, good, okay. So any ideas what you think is on the other half of each of those pictures? What about the top picture? What do you think's on the other half? On the right-hand side of that picture? Customers, could be. Customers deciding. Tourists, small bowls of food, people buying, etc. And they discuss and they guess, and then they see the picture. The other thing, of course, you can do is, if they're in pairs, one of them has the complete picture for the top one, and one of them has the complete picture for the bottom, and they describe, and they, the picture dictation thing, and they draw it. You can do either. You can have them work speaking together and guessing what's on the other half of the missing picture. Does that make sense? You know what I mean, the invisible picture. Or they do it like a picture dictation. Here's the complete one. I think you're right. I think you get 10 points. I think Nika should give you all a lollipop at the end. There you go. If you're from Spain, there was a Sergio earlier. You will know that chap in the black t-shirt is one of Spain's main TV presenters. It's the bookstore. So he's actually probably just signing books, but the lady at the top is choosing food. Customers deciding. So how would you pronounce that? Yolene, is it? Yolene Dobbs? Would have got that one right? Etc. And then I think I've got one more. Oh no, two more. So I'll talk very fast. Another thing you can do with ELT picks if you want to practice grammar, and this is the kind of the may, might, must, could be, can't be sort of thing, is take a picture of an object, zoom in on it, again using Paint or Pick Monkey, and I've got the link for that on the final slide, and take a section of the picture, and then guess what it is. Guess away. Type one word, each person, one word in our box. What do you think that's a picture of? Car mirror. Yes, it's Pablo Motos. Yeah, that's right. Sergio one. Car mirror, a car, marbles, a red car, a car. A vase. Nice idea. Reflection. It is reflection. Yes, reflection in what? A helmet, rear light, etc. You ready to see it? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? There you go. Ah, another photo by Ian James. I love that photo, but I love Vespas. My car key ring is a Vespa. My dream vehicle is a red Vespa. So there you go. If you use, with PicMonkey or even with just Word, you can do all sorts of stuff with this. This picture, right? I played with it a bit more, and I made that. Harder to guess, but depending on the object, you could take a whole object and you could fiddle with it using the special effects bits in Word. Have a play later. If you have a picture on a Word document and you click on it, you double click on the actual picture, you get these options. And I think of course mine's in Spanish, but it says correction, color, and I think it's something like effects. And you just, play about, click on the one you like, and you can turn a very recognizable object into something like that. And you can use those for the may, must, might, could be, I think it's a, etc. All right? Or just the vocab revision. Produce a bunch of them, like little kind of funky flashcards. One more idea, last one. This you can also do with PicMonkey as well, using the mosaic option, collage option, sorry. The collage option and then writing on top. I did this yonks ago with a program that doesn't exist anymore, but nowadays I get my students to use PicMonkey and they make a collage and write sentences on. This was the beginning of the year. This was the New Year resolutions with Will and going to, and I want to, and I need to, and etc. I'll bend in the wind, but I won't break, and I'll keep looking through. Looking through new windows. I just went into ELT Picks, chose a bunch of photos that I thought would say something about my New Year's resolutions, and I wrote my New Year's resolutions on them. Okay. The Statue of the Man. Yeah, I think that's Mika, isn't it? Mika, you took that one. I'll bend in the wind, but I won't break. Yay, well done. I said, I'll make bright coloured food. I'll learn the words and I'll sing along. That's the two musicians. I'll take time to drink my morning coffee slowly, to smell the daisies, although that one's gone off the top of the slide there. And to sit perfectly still. I want to surprise, that's the fireworks, and be surprised, that's the parrots, which are actually part of the tiles on the wall. So that's some ideas for you there, guys, okay? Those are the kind of the ingredients that I used. The mosaic maker, I used PicMonkey for all kinds of stuff. I've called it a mosaic maker. It's not a mosaic maker, it's a collage maker. But you can also use it to cut pictures, to put effects on them. PicMonkey's brilliant and it's free. There's you can pay for sort of an update version. Excuse me, my chair is sliding away. You can pay for kind of update version, but the free one's good enough, you know. In fact, you can get rid of your wrinkles on your photos of yourself as well. I also use Paint a lot. That's actually just in the computer because I don't have a Mac. I have another one. ELT pics there. That's the address of the Flickr resource. And the two ELT blogs, Take a Photo and is the idea blogs. The blog, the Take a Photo and blog is ideas. I've written some of the stuff, but I mean, I think Mika said, you know, that they were my blogs, but for the Take a Photo and, I just kind of compile, I invite people to write articles. I've got to, this week I'll be uploading one by Crisa Papalazaro. I'm not quite sure the pronunciation there, maybe Julie could correct me. Yeah, she's the next one coming up, and I've got Rosselli's burning questionnaire, because the burning questionnaire, which is linked to the Take a Photo Land, is interviews with the people who've contributed to Take a Photo Land. And they're quite fun interviews. They're I don't know, you know, do you prefer baked beans or steak or whatever it is? And each person who's visited us chooses 40 ELT pics, and I make a collage of them, and I illustrate the interviews with the photos. And we've got Jeremy Harmer in there, and we've got, I think Lindsay's in there, and there's all kinds of famous ELT people, if you believe that anybody in ELT is famous. Okay, and that's it. So I think that's my last slide. So I forgot to put, yep, it is. Oh, bit of publicity for you. I shall keep that. There you go. Anyway. So I hope that's useful. And if there are any questions, because there aren't any questions underneath the screen. Anybody got any questions? Thank you for the compliments. I use manipulation. Oh, there's Iris or Iris. Oh, it's disappeared off the top there. I recommended something. No questions or thanks. Well, thank you to you too. There's been some great ideas coming up in the chat box there as well. And yeah, it's nice to see, well, see you. I can't really see you, Julie, but I wish I could. Great, well, thank you. Well, it'd be good, you know, if you try some of these ideas, then, you know, let us know. Or if anybody wants to write a blog post for Take a Photo and just send me a message via the ELT Pics page, okay? So it'd be good to have some, should we say, regular teachers in the field writing. There's a few kind of regular teachers in the Take a Photo and, but also my kind of well-known writers as well. And to be honest, I sometimes prefer just to have from regular teachers because it's more realistic, you know, people who are actually in the classroom. Probably shouldn't say that. Anyway, Mika's come back on screen next to me, so I'm going to pass over to her.
Okay, Fiona. Well, what can I say? Thank you very, very much for this really interesting and practical webinar with lots and lots of information. Yeah, and fun. Somebody here in the room says, and fun, indeed. Thank you very, very much. ELT Pics, of course, is a great source, and yeah, what we can do with it, indeed, you already said it, people can read about it in your, well, in the blog. Take a photo, and as you said, they're welcome to give us input there. You can write to Fiona directly, or maybe you can contact BELTA and I will pass it on. Thank you very much for all the participants, for your cooperation, your ideas. There was a lot of interaction today in the chat box, which we really like. So I can say thank you, all of you, and we hope to see you again for our next webinar, which is on the 8th of January. May I also remind you of our BELTA Day, the 25th of April, and you can read everything about that on our website. You see the two plenary speakers on the slide there. We hope to see you then or in one of the next webinars. Thank you very much. Okay, and I think the recording can be stopped now.